Hey friends, I am back for another Out of the Theater reaction, this time for A Quiet Place Day One. Now, as we know, A Quiet Place Day One is a prequel to the previous two other A Quiet Places. The first one following a family who's kind of been in the thick of it. They found seclusion, security, and safety out in the woods from this alien invasion, and we're watching as they're not only grieving the loss of one child, but bringing in a brand new baby into the world and how they manage that with this alien threat. Of course, leading into the second film, they are now grieving the loss of John Krasinski's character, and we watch as they try to find a new home, a new solace, and a new safety in this unforgiving, alien-infested world. So, my big questions coming into this new film are going to be, one, what new elements are they bringing into this film? Because now we're in the third installation of this film. So what new, fun, interesting ideas are they bringing into this movie that are going to shock and awe or leave a lasting memory? I know from the trailers we're seeing that there's a cat involved. I myself have a cat of my own, and I know point blank period, there is no way that I could tell Casanova to be quiet lest he kill us all. So it's going to be interesting how they play with that. But the second question is this a movie that can stand on its own, or would I have had to watch the other two films to fully appreciate this film? So the two big questions are there any surprises to this film? And two, can this movie stand alone? But it's now time for me to watch my film, so let's head into the theater. Alrighty, friends, heading into A Quiet Place Day One. While we're here, I do want to say I saw a preview of this at CinemaCon, and August 9th cannot come faster. I'm so excited for this film from M. Night Shyamalan.
Enjoy your movie.
So I just got out of the theater, and I have to say the last 15 minutes of this movie had me absolutely bawling. But let me get back home, back into the studio, so I can give you my actual impressions out of the theater. I'm going to be honest with you guys, I could not make it to my studio. I had to sit in my car outside of the theater to talk about this film. I'm going to give brief little conversations about this, and then I do want to go into a little bit more spoiler heavy commentary. So just right off the bat, if I had to rank this movie from 1 to 10, 1 being the worst, 10 being the best, I would probably rank this maybe a 7. Like, it's a good film. I really appreciate it. It definitely hit me in the heart, but I feel like, I'm in LA. I know what a big city feels like, but I think really this is a love letter to New Yorkers. And even in the beginning, they flash in front of the screen, New York City is at a constant 90 decibels, which is the sound of a constant scream. And that's how they start this movie. They start this movie with already your fear and anxiety lifted, knowing how the other two films are and knowing that these creatures, that these aliens really thrive and use echolocation and sound in order to find their prey. I mean, oh my God, I'm looking at my makeup and just how those last 15 minutes just got me. Getting into my two questions that I wanted to ask, I think we're going to get into the spoilers. So, right, just leaving you right there, I do want to say this is a really great film, and I think that it adds on to the franchise and begins the franchise in a really beautiful way. Yes, it discusses the creatures, and I think that what the other two films did is they paid heavy attention to, yes, this family dynamic, but it really was learning and understanding and adapting to these creatures that invaded our world and our reality and how we've kind of dealt with that and had to adapt to it. Whereas I feel like A Quiet Place Day One, we haven't adapted yet. And so especially Samara and Eric, they are thrust into this world and still want to find normality and really want to strive for what it is that they desire. They haven't given themselves over to this new reality yet. So that's kind of where I'm going to leave it in the non-spoiler review. I really want to get into my actual deep dive on what I felt from this movie and ask a couple of questions as well. So hopefully that is enough for the non-spoilers, but right now we're getting into the deep spoilers. My biggest question, sorry, I'm jumping right in. My biggest question in this film is, what the fuck do you mean they can't swim? I distinctly remember in A Quiet Place, and I'm going to put the clip in here, but I distinctly remember in A Quiet Place, these creatures swimming around in the basement with Emily Blunt just having a baby. God, I think she might have been holding it, or it might have been right after her foot hit the nail in the stairs, but I distinctly remember these creatures swimming around. And that's a big core part of this film, was that these creatures can't swim. in fact, the big savior of the movie is, oh, we've broken the bridges. You have to go to the water. We're all on the boats. The creatures can't swim. But I feel like that's such a big plot hole, but one that they should know. So maybe I'm mistaken in that. Maybe I'm confused but no, I distinctly remember these creatures swimming in water. So the whole time I was watching this movie, it kind of took me out of that. Just seeing these creatures afraid of water. Speaking of water, however, I really appreciate what they did with rain and how they use that as a camouflage to mask their voices and mask their sounds. I do feel like that added into the lore and into the story that this film is and this franchise really is. It kind of fleshed out the world and our capabilities as humans fighting these invaders. Going into the characters, the reason why I felt like I got so emotional about this is, yes, I have a cat, and so watching a cat survive, spoiler, watching a cat survive and watching a cat, not necessarily aid physically or aid in helping the rescue, but really aid emotionally. I thought that was lovely. I thought that was beautiful. Do I see Casanova being that? No, Casanova will kill me. That cat is truly the definition of a scaredy cat. So no, I don't think he's going to help. But it was nice to see. It was nice to see people struggling and having this animal kind of help ease them in this really tumultuous and scary time. This story follows Samara, who is terminally ill. She's in hospice, and which is really it's the place that you go to gently go away if you don't know what hospice is. And they happen to be in the city because of a marionette show, and Lupita's character Samara is angry, and she's rightfully so. When you're dying, why do you need to be nice? You're mad at the world, you're mad at cancer, you're mad at everything, and that really shows and she's a New Yorker, and New Yorkers are just angry, she's mad. She's a very mad character. But when this very chaotic and awful and climactic, the aliens coming in, can you really hold on to that anger and that ire just because anymore? And along the way, we see her kind of breaking that down little by little. She finds children, she feeds them, she gets them to what she believes is safety. We then find her she then finds Eric, and Eric is, he's from over the pond. He happens to just be here, to be a lawyer. And we see them, her curmudgeon trying to shuck him away, but he's like, no, this is a lifeline and I need that. And within a day, you see this friendship form, and I was just bawling my eyes out. It was so sad. It's just the human connection. And I think that that's really what this movie is. It's about human connection. It's about growth. It's about survival, but it really is about community. And I think this movie did that so well. Do I think this movie can stand alone? Yeah, I think so. I think it's a great movie to stand on its own. I think it's a beautiful addition to the Quiet Place franchise. And I think it really is telling of the human connection. So it is out now. Make sure you go see it. These are just my quick little thoughts on this film. Let me know what you guys thought in the comments below. I am going to go head home now because I have more stuff to film. There are movies dropping every day, so make sure you like, follow, and subscribe for all of my out of the theater reactions. I will see you guys for the next one.